Just being an immigrant, it was not easy. It was not easy. I had a green card at the time, and we weren't even allowed to play outside. We had to be indoors because my mom was paranoid about La Migra picking us up or whatever. So yeah, that was definitely my biggest struggle. Being an immigrant, and but luckily, the Imperial Valley, there's half the people there are immigrants. You know what I mean? So and then just also fast forwarding to like early my DJ career when I moved to San Diego, I remember this specific club telling me like, yo, like you sound too Mexican on the mic.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's the word, everybody? We're over here back at Sueños Music Festival 2025. We got a very special guest, Sad Boy Radio.
Sad Boy Radio, Dynamiq en la casa, we're in Chi-Town, baby.
Man, this is your 4th year, bro. Like, you're doing that shit, you know what I'm saying? How is it so different from the first year that you came here?
First of all, I'm grateful to be here. 4th year in a row. To be a part of this amazing festival in beautiful Chicago since day one is a blessing. It's every year it's it's gotten bigger, it's gotten better. Bigger artists, bigger lineup, more people. This year they have 3 stages. Every other year it was just 1 stage. So yeah, it's just grown. With the city of Chicago, I feel like the city has embraced the festival, and everybody, it's everybody knows Memorial Day weekend is Sueños weekend.
Man, and you're not only DJing every single year, you're bringing your own merch. You're creating this shit, like, you're doing so much more than just bringing the vibes, but you're also bringing an artistic, creative thing that you can take home, right?
Yes.
What does that process look like for you?
Well, I've never done merch in any festival, but I'm a huge, Jordan fan growing up, and the Bulls and the whole brand. So the first year I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do like a Jordan Chicago branded t-shirt, and I sold out in day 1 by like 5 p.m. They were like, hey, your merch sold out. So then the next year I brought double the merch, sold out again the first day. Year 3 I brought double the merch, sold out again. And this year I said, you know what, I'm not only gonna do t-shirts, but I'm also gonna do hats. This hat I got on right here, I did the whole Chicago, but with the N, with the Chicano, you know what I mean, to represent for all the Chicanos in Chicago and just around the world. So yeah, the whole process, my designer from Peru, he designed. I gave him the concept, I gave him the idea, and he brought it to life and crushed it. So I'm excited to see. Hopefully the merch sells out this year again, and Chicago loves it.
I love it, bro. And you talk about the Chicanos, right? But Sueños is a highlight of the Latino culture throughout the U.S., throughout the world, right? It's so much bigger than what we always see, and being able to bring it to Chicago is amazing. For you, what's the significance of being Latino, and how has it played a role in your life, right? Because clearly Latino, clearly a Latino DJ, but you're so much more than that, and you've taken those opportunities and escalated it to being able to be with the 49ers and everywhere, right? So what does being Latino and the significance of the culture mean to you?
Being Latino and being Mexican is everything to me. I rep it every single day. I breathe it. It's an honor, you know what I mean? I represent it, I love it, I'm all about my culture, I'm all about where I'm from, how the way I grew up, the people I grew up around. So I respect all Latinos, I respect all Mexicanos, and it's an honor to be able to represent my flag, La Bandera Linda de Mexico, and to be here, we're in Chicago, hay muchos Latinos aquí, and to be able to be here representing Mexico, Mexicali, Baja California, that's where I was born. It's an honor, and it's a privilege, and to be able to put on for all my Latinos and Mexicans around the world. I'm not supposed to be here, man. If you know my story, for me to be here is pretty crazy. I was walking the festival earlier, and I was just soaking it all in, and I got a little emotional. I was like, wow, you're really here. Not only you're here right now, but you're here for your 4th year back. So it's, I don't take it for granted, and I'm very grateful.
Man. And we're going to talk about all that, the deep stuff, once we do our full sit down. I definitely wanted to do that while you were out here, but I know it came to a little bit of a time constraint, right? But you mentioned being born in Mexicali, right? Baja Beach Fest, another festival that the owners of Sueños put on over there. How did you see it impact, the environment over there in the city? What did it bring over there?
I mean, not only did it impact the economy tremendously in Baja California and Rosarito and the city of San Diego, but just that's the number 1 Latin festival in the world, you know what I mean? So that was we're here because of that festival, you know what I mean? We started that festival, and I've been there 5 years straight, going on my 6th year, and that festival was able to open doors for Sueños Chicago, you know what I mean? I still remember the owners having early talks about doing a festival in Chicago and who's the right people to talk to and blah blah blah. And here we are, 4 years later. Like this thing is massive, 90,000, 100,000 people. So yeah, it's been a huge impact in the world in general. You know what I mean? Everyone knows it's like El Festival Latino, Chicago Sueños, the biggest festival in the world. It's Baja Beach Fest, Rosarito.
That's how you got your connection with Bad Bunny, right?
So originally, true story, the very first Baja Beach Fest 2018, I remember I hit up my boy Roa, who was my manager at the time. I was like, bro, we have to go to Baja Beach Fest. Like, this festival is fucking crazy. We gotta, like, you know, it was only 10,000 people at the time. Funny enough, we went with Bad Bunny to the festival. So we were me and him were his guests, and we were on stage with him. So that's actually how I met the owners of Baja Beach Fest. Aaron and Chris was that year, and they were like, oh shit, you're from San Diego, you know Bad Bunny? And from there, like, we just started having a relationship. They booked me the following year, spring break, and then they've been booking me at their festivals ever since. So, but yeah, Bad Bunny, I've known him since he was at the bottom, you know what I mean? He gave me the opportunity to open up his concert in Tijuana in 2019, and then right after the pandemic, El Último Tour del Mundo, I opened up San Diego, LA, Vegas. So yeah, I've done like 5-6 shows with him, like direct support opening for him. So Benito's uno de los míos, you know, respect.
Man, I gotta give it to you. Like I said, you know, you've been able to do the Bad Bunny stuff. I know that's a lot of what people cover, but there's way more to you, right? Because you're the in-house DJ for the 49ers. You're a part of the Heavy Hitters nominated 2024 DJ of the Year.
Yes,
right?
That was huge.
And like, man, you gotta let them know your nickname.
El Rey del West, you already know, and that's not a nickname I gave myself. Eso me lo dieron, you know, organically. So El Rey del West, I rep for the West Coast, I represent for all my Latinos, and I represent for los Mexicanos, you know, in Chicago, from coast to coast.
So one last thing I gotta ask you, right? We're a podcast that really focuses on the struggles that people overcome throughout their lives, right? There's so much more than just being able to come to Sueños, be the DJ for the 49ers, Baja. What was the hardest thing you had to overcome to get to this point in your life?
Being an immigrant, you know, I was born in Mexicali, Baja California, and my mother raised us. You know, my father was never present, so mom had to play mom and dad, you know. We moved in 1995, Valentine's Day actually, 1995, to Brawley, California. That's my hometown, Imperial Valley. Shout out Brawley. And yeah, just being an immigrant, you know, my mom, you know, we got lucky. My mom married, you know, her husband, and you know, we got our papers and our citizenship through her marriage. And you know, just being an immigrant, you know, it was not easy. It was not easy. You know, I had a green card at the time, and you know, we weren't even allowed to play outside. We had to be indoors because you know, my mom was paranoid about, you know, La Migra picking us up or whatever. You know, so yeah, that was definitely my biggest struggle. You know, being an immigrant, and but luckily, you know, the Imperial Valley, there's half the people there are immigrants, you know what I mean? So, and then just also fast forwarding to like early my DJ career, when I moved to San Diego, I remember this specific club telling me like, yo, like, you sound too Mexican on the mic. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, man. I was like, and you know, this was like 2011, 2012. And I was like, you know, very humble. I mean, I'm still humble, but at the time I was extremely humble. And I was like, well, what do you recommend? And he was like, maybe get some speech classes. And I was like, all right, I use that shit as fuel. And I was like, all right, cool. Watch this. And I got a little insecure on the mic, you know, because, you know, soy Mexicano. I had an accent. I still have an accent. But guess what? 2012, reggaeton and regional music wasn't popping, and guess what, now we're in demand. So guess what happened? I stuck to what I believed in. I stuck to my culture. I kept playing the reggaeton and Hispanic music, and I stayed true to my craft. And then guess what, Latino became cool, and guess who they're calling Dynamiq. So that was another one of my struggles, because I could have quit, or I could have not used the mic again, or I could have got discouraged. But I want to shout him out, because he wasn't being malicious. He wasn't like being disrespectful. He just kind of gave me his point of view, and I was like, damn, like, okay, like, this is when EDM was big and all the pop top 40 stuff. And I was like, here I am, Latino Mexican immigrant on the mic in a commercial club in San Diego, and you know, I sound too Mexican, but you know, I couldn't quit then.
How you sound too Mexican in a San Diego club?
Crazy, right? Yeah, it was a American club, I guess you could say, you know. But yeah, I would say, I mean, I could go on and on the struggles, but I would say those two.
Nah, I appreciate it, man, and you being able to open up about it and just let us know, right? Because, you know, similar to my mom, she grew up without a dad, and she has 8 siblings. My grandma raised them. Rest in peace to my grandma. But all those things happen for a reason, right?
Yeah.
And you use that as fuel, and you realize that there's so much higher that I could take it.
Exactly.
And that's what you did.
What better way to put on for your ancestors? You know what I mean? Like, I'm walking living proof. My mom congratulates me every time I see her. You know what I mean? Like, what better way to honor your ancestors and your mother and your grandmother than just making it, killing it, making a difference, putting your stamp, you know, making a legacy. Like, there's no better reward.
So let me ask you real quick, right before we close out, what's one thing you want the people to know about Dynamiq at its core?
I love my team. I love giving opportunities to people. I love putting people on. I love connecting the dots. You know, I feel like I'm the outlet. I'm not the plug. I'm the outlet. Connect the dots. You know, and yeah, I just want to see everyone win. That's my main thing. I love seeing everyone win. I don't get, if I see another DJ or an artist, I use that. I'm genuinely happy. I use it as motivation. I don't hate. I'm never like, why him, not me. You know, I just love seeing people on, like, everyone happy. I'm all about happiness and everybody just killing it, being on. You know.
Keep killing it, bro.
Brother, thank you.
Appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. And man, when you're back, let's set it up, bro. I got the studio ready for you.
Shout out Sad Boy Radio. We're in Chicago. Dynamiq en la casa. Sueños, baby.
Sad Boys for real. Peace out.
Love, bro. Thank you, bro.
What's the word, everybody? We're over here at Sueños Music Festival. We got my boy Ricky over here, man. You've been doing some shit for a minute, right? Like I said, you were working with Viva for a little bit. I caught you over here at Sueños rocking the Gente Fina.
You already know, hey, Gente Fina, Ride or Die. By the way, they're going to be at the Mercadito section, so go check them out, guys. I don't know when you're going to post this video, but...
Nah, you're good. Give us a little bit of your background, right? Because like I said, I seen your shit for a little minute. You did the In Your 20s. You're over here with Reggaeton TV. Like, you've been moving up for a minute, bro. So,
man. You know, I mean, I think that's the goal. I think as a content creator, I think everybody wants to move up and try to be the best version you could be. I started off as a photographer. Not a lot of people know that. I'm known as Chicago Rick Dog. Then I started working for Viva Tu Música. I worked with them for like close to 2 years. They helped me a lot. Thanks to them, they gave me a name. And now that I'm a freelance, content creator, now people reach out to me. Not crazy, but I get those opportunities because of the name I established with Viva. So
yeah. So what is it you really want to do, right? Like, you're over here at Sueños Music Festival, bro. Like, this is one of the
yes, sir.
It's the biggest reggaeton festival in the US, right?
Right.
So, do you want to do interviews? Do you want to do photography? What is it?
Man, the crazy part about me, I feel like I've always been kind of just like, I don't want to say not consistent, but like I always like to do different things. Not because I hop on, I just like, if I need to do a photo shoot, like, next week I'm gonna photo shoot for, Angelina Victoria, who's gonna be at the White Sox game singing the Hispanic Mexican national anthem. I'm gonna be shooting her pictures. So if someone hits me up for something, I'm gonna do it. Like, I mean, it depends. I'm not always gonna do everything.
So why the like inconsistency?
Inconsistency, man. I guess deep down, I still haven't found what I want to. I think I have an idea what I want to do. Ultimately, I would love to be an actor. Like, I would love to be in a TV show or in a movie. That would be fucking nuts. Like, I don't know. Acting would be an end goal towards what I'm doing right now. Because obviously I don't think I'm gonna do interviews the whole time or anything. I like to do TikToks too, with artists and stuff. So.
Alright, so one thing I gotta ask you, right? Something that we focus on a lot is the journey. We focus on what are the struggles that people have to overcome to get to where they've been, right? What do you feel like is one of the hardest things you've had to overcome as a person, right? Not as this persona, Rick Dog, but as the person, Ricky.
Man, just that's a good question. That's a good question, just because there's so many factors to the difficulties in one's journey. It could be personal issues, with family. It could be financially. Just in general, a support system. Like, if you don't have, you don't have to, but like, man, if you have a good support system, it could take you a long way. And sometimes I feel like there was moments where I lacked that. But now I'm not calling out anybody or anything. But
No, but not even on like a shady
Yeah,
level,
I
right?
don't
Not on a
wanna,
shady
like,
level, but
nah.
why do you feel like that lack of a support system had impacted you so much mentally?
because you start questioning yourself, and then you start forgetting who you are, and it gets to you, you know. But then there's when you have those little small wins, it reminds you like, damn, you know, like I'm meant for this, or you know, and you know, here I am now. I don't know what my journey is gonna be from here on out. You know, I'm just here to make the best out of it today with Reggaeton TV. Shout out to them for giving me the chance. Shout out to Frankie who invited me, obviously out here. Right now, I'm just in the present, and whatever comes in the future, you know,
Hey, man.
¿qué pasa?
Like I said, you're killing it. Keep doing your thing, bro.
Appreciate you, bro. No, it's
Appreciate
nice
you.
meeting you too,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
Man. Ahí estamos a la orden. Su compa el perro. Ciao.
Make sure you check us out, Sad Boys For Real. Peace out.
Sir.
This is Sad Boy Radio.